Who said the motivations are wrong? Not your decision.
That can only mean one thing. Welcome to a special edition of the StrayaMania podcast. I am Michael Thompson, the only podcast that calls himself StrayaMania. And joining me for a special look at the 1 year anniversary show for APW is the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest general manager APW's ever had, Mr. Smack Daddy.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's going to pop off this weekend. We've got an absolutely incredible show, as I'm sure you well know.
I do.
I mean, what can I say? I haven't seen a bigger cast on our show than this show. You know, we've had, other big stars within the industry come to our show in the past and participate, but there's none bigger than Robbie Eagles.
Probably the best pro wrestler in the country right now. He's joining the APW family, which is fantastic as well.
Do you know the advantage to that, though, is that clearly we're doing something right because he came to me. I didn't go searching him out. He came to me.
He said, I heard there's a new company where the big boys play. Did he do the Kevin Nash thing to you?
Oh, God, I wish. I would have marked out if he had. That would have been fantastic. But, sadly. But, I mean, 1 year. 1 year since this all began, And, admittedly, the first show, I wasn't there. I couldn't be there. Zach with 2Ks, Alex Hayes, they took me out in my own home. The security footage is on our website. They both took me out at my own home. Hayes took me out with a pizza tray, while Zach with 2Ks stood there and held my daughter into a chair and made her watch. It was horrendous. Anyway, I got my vindication on that.
You did.
I certainly did. Festive Fallout came around and they wanted control of the company.
They did at one point, and your first match, you could say, your first match ended with a W.
Oh, yeah, with a very big W. I mean, Zach with 2Ks ended up with a chair over his head. Well, actually, he ended up with his head through a chair. And my tag team partner and myself, Jason the Crusher Cole, we choke slammed Alex Hayes so hard, he almost went through the ring. You could hear that sound resound throughout the building, and it was such a sweet sound. But, of course, it was marred at the end, that victory, because my own flesh and blood turned on me on that show, because he was so jealous that I'd picked Crusher as my tag team partner as opposed to him. But that was then. This is now. We're a year down the track, and it's just, I'm still blowing my mind about how big this show is. We've got Sid Parker and Erica Reed.
They return to APW.
They return for the third time. They're back with us. So again, Sid Parker being the Jurassic Punk, we clearly must be doing something right. He wants to keep coming back. Cool, I'm down with that. And then
Cletus makes his debut.
Exactly, Cletus. And I'm like, wow. It just gets better and better. And I mean, Chris Law made his return last show. He dropped his Jared Craven. He gave that away. Now, Jared Craven was a good guy, but Chris Law, he doesn't follow any rules. He is a law unto himself. And he interjected himself in the championship match. Oh, it wasn't a championship match, it was to determine whether a championship match was going to happen. He interjected himself, and Xavier Black asked me personally, because he's never asked me for a thing, ever.
And this is the one favour he wants in the end.
One favour. He asked me if I could turn this title match between him and Technico into a triple threat and add Chris Law into the mix. Well, Chris Law got a bit out of sorts, and Smack Daddy stepped up to the plate and put him in his place.
And he did say on Facebook as well, Xavier Black, that this is the night that Chris Law is going to regret. This is the night where Chris Law is finally finished. And he said, Technico, I love you, but if you get in my way, the same thing's going to happen to you as well. And I think that's confidence coming from the champion Xavier Black.
Exactly. And the thing is that if Xavier Black says something like that, he's got the goods to back that up. And there's no two ways around that. He's the everyman wrestler. He's the Dusty Rhodes of Australia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He stands up for the little man, the common man. He doesn't care.
Nope.
And he will fight to the bitter end, tooth and nail. Love that. Oh, and we're crowning our first ever tag team champions.
I was going to mention that as well. 5 teams, ladders galore, and this is going to be probably the biggest match for these 5 teams as well. Like, they've gone through months and months and months of determining who's going to be the better one, and simply shows that you just could not choose just 2 teams. You thought, oh, bugger it, let's have 5 teams compete.
Exactly, and that was the thing. Initially, I started out with a point system, and I wanted to bring it down to 4. Okay, because I wanted to make it a decent match so that everybody who was in that division got a chance.
Are you concerned about your son, though? Because he's going to be
Look,
going to be in that ladder match as well, alongside his tag team partner, Callum Butcher.
At the end of the day, he's my son, but he's a big boy. He needs to deal with himself.
Fair enough.
He knows better. He knows what he did. And this is why he keeps ducking me and staying out of my way. Because they call me Smack Daddy for a reason. And he knows it too. So, you know, he's ducking and weaving because of that. But Raw Beef and the Wanna Bros, oh my God, there's going to be so much high flying when the Wanna Bros get in that ring. You put ladders in, you watch the way the guys fly around the ring now, you put ladders into that mix, you give them height.
Them and Raw Beef had probably one of the best matches on the card last month.
Without doubt. And previously when they faced each other as well, you know, and it was at that point that Raw Beef realised that, hey, these guys aren't too bad, you know, and that whole respect, shake of the hand thing in the middle of the ring, and it changed the whole outlook of the tag team division. Because no longer did we have Raw Beef coming in, bullying everybody. They realised that, hey, these guys are actually really good guys. Let's look, you know, respect, shake your hand, mate.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good deal.
And the Affirmation Down and Dirty are also going to be in that tag team match too. They thought they were going to get the easy passage to this championship match, but I don't think they were expecting it to be a ladder match.
Oh, no, they weren't. They weren't. If I'd have had my way, but, you know, it's just none of them wanted to do it. I wanted to make it a TLC, but, you know, they didn't want to do that because they don't want to put tables and chairs into the mix because, you know, a bit scared. You know, you think about it. If you powerbomb Alex Hayes onto a table, it's not breaking. He's just going to bounce off of that. Because he weighs what? $105?
Yeah.
And that's about the size of it. The same with Zach. I mean, you know, these guys. Look, I've had my beef in the past with them. Yep, no worries. We have a mutual respect for each other now. But they now know better than to cross me.
They do.
You know, because at the end of the day, I'm the boss. They know that, and they need to just do what they're told.
Whatever you say goes.
That's it, and that's it. And Chris Law found that, as I said, he found that out the very hard way last show. He wanted Xavier Black one-on-one, and I said, no, that's not going to happen. It's going to be a triple threat now. And he was like, no, just me and him. And I just, as I said to him, shut your damn mouth and let me talk to the champion. That was it. And he was very frustrated by that, and I thought that was quite funny. I had a bit of a giggle to myself in my head because he tried to get up and intimidate me in my face, as you saw on the stage, and I don't back down to anybody.
You don't take BS from anyone at all.
Nobody, because why? Because I sweat nobody. I don't fear anything, and that's what makes me perfect as the GM.
Exactly right. I do want to ask about Cody Swift. How is he going with his recovery? Because he's got a big grudge match against his old friend and now foe, Gabriel Wolf.
Yeah. Well, he's he said he's going to be ring ready. He said he's going to be fine. So I'm hoping that he's not going to try and do this injured, because if he is, then Wolf's going to take him to the wool shed. And there's nothing you can do about that. But Cody says he's fine. He's ready to go, and I've got to take his word for it. I don't really have a choice, you know. He's saying that recovery, he's doing well. I'm like, okay, cool. You still want the match? You got the match. You know, if I'm going to put on a show, we're going to put on the best show of all, you know.
Absolutely, we are. And might as well talk about this match before we talk about probably the biggest feuds very shortly. But Robbie Eagles, Richie Taylor. Robbie Eagles basically said to Richie Taylor at the last event, via video link, of course, that there was only one man he was going to compete against at the 1 year anniversary show, and that was Smash Mouth Richie Taylor.
Oh. Now, I mean, Smash Mouth Richie Taylor. Now, that guy, he just oozes talent. Confidence. He entertains the crowd as well. I mean, I love his little dances he does in the ring, you know. Like last show, him and Tyson Baxter dancing in the middle of the ring. That was
good.
It was fantastic. And I mean, I've been watching him for years when he was a tag team with his brother. And they used to do that. That was their stick. They got the crowd going every show. But that's going to be incredible to watch. Just to see Robbie, once Robbie Eagles' music hits, just to see him walk through that curtain, the pop will be intense. The crowd will mark out, and depending on who comes out first, if Richie comes out after him, the crowd's going to mark out for Richie because he is a fan favourite. He is loved by the entire wrestling community, you know.
And I didn't realise how hard Tyson Baxter was going to go against Richie Taylor until the last event. It showed that, you know, Tyson's got a bit of a tough side to him as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, he certainly has. I mean, you know, I don't go looking for these little mamby-pamby boys. No. This is adrenaline professional wrestling. You know, if you can't go, then don't come. You know, I will find the best, the greatest. And we've put on magic shows. But, you know, the definitive match that's going to define this whole event.
I quit.
I quit. Now, personally, I'd love to see Zodiac say, I quit. I really would, because he's made Crash's life a living hell. And nothing I can do has stopped him. You know, I've you know, ejected his cronies from ringside before, and you know, and I've made stipulations for him and given him surprise matches, and nothing perturbs him.
Are you concerned that maybe Chris Carnage or Paul Thornton could potentially get involved in this match?
That is my concern, but my eyes are very peeled for that, and I will make sure that they don't get themselves involved in this, because I can't. This is a feud that needs to happen. This final match needs to happen between these two guys. They can't keep going through the pins and the submissions, and no, somebody has to say I quit.
And these guys main evented the first APW show as well in, like, I think it was
hardcore
match. That's it.
Yep. A hardcore match, tables, ladders, chairs, the whole thing.
They had everything.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, as I said, I had to watch the footage back because some stinking, dirty little rotten fiends took me out before the show started. But I watched the match and it was intense. It was incredible. There's no way either of those guys walked away without feeling pain. And that was as easy as it gets. So this itself will, with no disqualification, no nothing, and it's just I quit. These guys are just going to open up on each other.
And finally, before I let you go, Smacks, why, for those who haven't bought tickets yet, why should they do so now?
Oh, why? Because this is
the big why.
The big why.
The big why.
Big why is because, well, number one, support your local wrestling. Pure and simple. these guys do this to entertain everybody. We're there for you. We don't do it because we want to be superstars. We don't do that for them. It's because we want you guys to have fun. But why? Why should they be there? Because it's just going to be so intense. I mean, we've got media that's turning up, and they're going to be there recording the show as well. And to be honest, if you miss this show, you're probably going to miss one of the greatest shows for the year within this country. You know? And that's our aim, is to make sure that you want to keep coming back and watch. I mean, everybody who comes once, they always keep coming back. This is why I say to everybody out there, you need to come down. 28th of July, APW Arena, Smethurst Street, Cranbourne Indoor Sports Centre. You need to be there to witness the carnage. Witness the high flying off ladders. I mean, you think about it, 5 teams inside a ring with ladders, with tag team belts hanging from the roof. You know, these guys have got to climb that ladder and get those belts.
They do.
Just think about the stuff that they're going to pull off the top of those ladders. If you've ever seen a Money in the Bank match, yeah, we're going to get pretty damn close to that. So, yeah, rock on down. Look us up on Facebook, www.facebook.com.au/Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. Get your tickets there. Get your tickets anywhere. You've got to be there. It's going to be incredible.
They start from $15 and go all the way up to $60 with the pre-show starting at 7 p.m. But doors kick in at 6:30 p.m. and the main show kicks off at about 7:30 p.m. and it's 3 hours of pure adrenaline, no pun intended, as I like to bring in.
Yeah, it's true though. It is pure adrenaline. You can't sit there and watch it and not get hyped.
Exactly.
Pure and simple.
Beautiful stuff. Well, Smack Daddy, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and we're looking forward to what should be a fantastic night ahead.
Thank you so much, Michael, for having me in. And everybody get down to Cranbourne Indoor Sports Centre, Adrenaline Pro Wrestling, Saturday night. Don't miss it.